Hi, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. It was 16 years ago that I lost my father to a rare form of cancer and the treatments that he got trying to cure him. And it really set me on a mission to learn more and more about human health and well-being, mind-body, natural alternatives, things like that. And over these 16 years, I've met with some fascinating people, attended conferences all over the world. And one of the guys I met is a guy named Greg Braden. Greg is a scientist, a best-selling author. Perhaps you are familiar with his work. But one of the things that Greg introduced me to were three independent experiments that when you put these three experiments together, wow, it's amazing what it reveals. So today I'm going to share with you these three experiments, and you can be the judge. The first one was an experiment done by a guy named Vladimir Poponan, and it was called the phantom DNA experiment. And what Vladimir Poponan did is he took a vacuum tube so that there was nothing in this tube but light particles or photons, the stuff the universe is made of, so to speak. So the photons are in this vacuum tube, and he then inserted DNA, human DNA. And what was fascinating about this experiment is that the light particles that were all random suddenly started to take form, the shape of the DNA, the double helix. So they mirrored the DNA. The essence of that particular experiment is that human DNA affects light and the photons and the stuff the universe is made of, literally. Wow. The second experiment, which was done by the military, was referred to as the non-local experiment, and it took human DNA from a donor and put it in a measuring device and took the donor into a room next door down the hall, separated the two, and then subjected the donor to different emotions, different feelings. And what was interesting in this experiment is that the DNA in the measuring device instantaneously mirrored the emotions, reacted to the emotions that the donor was reacting to or experiencing. So it's like, wow, human emotion affects DNA, DNA affects photons and the stuff the universe is made of, so to speak. So these two experiments combined, wow, start to reveal something quite powerful. The third one, which was done by the HeartMath Institute in California, and this particular experiment was about the heart energy. And I've done videos about the heart energy before. Perhaps you've seen those. But in this case, the donor was subjected to different specific feelings and emotions. Right? And when the donor was experiencing positive and happy, joyful emotions, the DNA relaxed and the immune system was boosted. When the donor was subjected to thoughts and emotions and feelings of pain and fear and worry, anxiety and doubt, the DNA weakened, okay, and the immune system weakened. And the DNA became very tight and defensive. So now when we put these three experiments together, what we think triggers how we feel, and how we feel triggers our DNA, and our DNA triggers the very world that we live in. And you couple all of these together and combine them with what we now know as the law of attraction, which is what we reap is what we sow. What are we sowing? It starts all in the mind. What are we sowing? We're sowing thoughts. And the more afraid we are, the more anxious we are, particularly when it's as a group, a collective energy, a collective field, it causes serious problems in the world. So what can we do? We can meditate. We can learn to relax. We can learn to let go of stress. We can learn to think positive. And when we do that, we affect the very world that we live in. That's my tip for today. Pay attention to what you think and how you feel, because everything else simply reflects that. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you again.